Hello students, welcome to the part 2 lecture of conservation laws of system of particles. Now in this lecture you can see I shall discuss concept of conservation of angular momentum and conservation of energy. So let's proceed. So when we talk about angular momentum, basically your particle is rotating. So when there is a rotation of a particle, that momentum we talk about, that is angular momentum, and that we normally write as J. So here as this is system of particles, so there are n number of particles and we can tell that the angular momentum of the first particle is J1, then J2 is the angular momentum of the second particle, like that. So J1 is basically R1 cross P1, J2 is R2 cross P2, like that. Okay, so we can write J equal to summation I equal to 1 to n Ri cross Pi. So here Ri is this distance from this O particle. So basically angular momentum is measured with respect to this point O, right? So with respect to this point our system is basically rotating, and Rj is this distance from this O particle. Now here you can see that if we do dj dt, we can write Ri cross Pi dot, right, and another term is Ri dot cross Pi, but that term is 0 because here Ri dot is basically Vi and Pi is M Vi, so Vi cross Vi is 0, so we are left with this term. Okay, now Ri cross Fi summation over I we have to calculate. So from the last lecture we have seen that the total force we can write as the external force which is applied on the ith particle, and this is the internal force between the ith particle and jth particle. Now what is this Ri cross Fij? That we need to calculate, means summation over I, summation over j, then Ri cross Fij. So when we do this, there will be two terms, Ri cross Fij plus Rj cross Fji, right? When we do this summation, one term will be like this. Now here we know that Fij equal to F minus Fji due to the Newton's third law. So that's why this becomes Ri minus Rj cross Fij. Now Ri minus Rj is basically this length, that is the Rij, distance between the ith particle and jth particle. Okay, so that is Rij. Here everything is in vector, this is in bold form, that's why that arrow sign on top of that parameter is not written over here, all are in bold form, that means they are all are vector. Okay, now what is this value Ri cross Fij? So here I will tell you one concept that is called the central force. Central force, in the name itself you can understand the force which is along the center. Now here we are talking about the internal force between ith particle and jth particle. So you can see this Fij is from ith particle to jth particle, right? So if we consider this is the center, so Fij is along the center, towards the center. So the direction of Fij and Rij is same. So that's why Rij cross Fij, if we do, that will be 0. So that's why it is called the central force. So that's why this part, second part will be 0 when we do this summation. So dj dt is basically only this part, okay. So now according to the definition of torque you know, that is dj dt, external torque. So if we say that there is no external torque, then what will happen? This j will be constant, that means the summation over all j's will be constant. So that's why in absence of external torque, the total angular momentum of system of particle is conserved. This is called the conservation theorem for angular momentum, total angular momentum of the system of particle. Okay. So I think you can understand up to this. Now let's understand what is conservation of energy. So conservation of energy, when we tell, first we will see what is the kinetic energy of the system. So you have a particular point 1 point, and another point is 2, and your particle is moving from that 1 point to 2 point. Okay, so we know from the single particle case that the change of kinetic energy is basically the work done. If we move that particle from the first position to the second position, or here we are telling configuration, first configuration to the second final configuration, initial configuration to the final configuration. Okay, anything you can tell, first point to second point, like that. So we have seen that the total work done will be the kinetic energy change. Now in this case also we will see whether that thing is satisfying here or not. Okay, so for that we will write like this 1 to 2, from configuration 1 to from configuration 2 that particle is moving, we want to see the work done. Now here this is a system of particle. Okay, so that's why we have to consider I equal to 1 to n. Now in place of Fi we are using this external force on ith particle, and this is the internal force, right? Now here this term, that is Fi dot dr, that can be written like this also. You can understand, this is mi dvi dt, basically vi dot means dv dt. Wherever you will see some parameter x dot, that is dx dt, that is the velocity. Here this is the acceleration, mass into acceleration is the force, and dri is the vi dt, means in dt time, if the velocity of the particle is vi, ith particle, that is moving dr. Okay, now from here we can write this. How? This is dvi dt. So in layman way we can tell that dt will cancel, but we will tell scientifically dvi dt means within that dt time the change of velocity will be dvi, right? So here if we apply this differential on this parameter, it will be, there will be a 2 term 2 vi, so that 2 will cancel out, and we are left with mi vi dot vector sign then vi, right? Vi dot vi, that will be there. Okay, understood? Now here this is the initial point, this is the final point, and if we do so, then we will get the kinetic energy at the second point minus kinetic energy is the first point, and this is the change in kinetic energy is actually the work done, and this is the work energy theorem that we know. Now here we will do a thing that you need to see carefully, that is here this is, you know, capital R is the distance of the center of mass from the origin, and capital V is the velocity of the center of mass. Now RIC, what is RIC? RIC is the position of that mi particle, mi means the ith particle here, relative to the center of mass, means from this point the distance, this distance is RIC. Similarly VIC is the velocity of this ith particle with respect to center of mass. Okay, now the total kinetic energy we know like this, already I told in the last slide. So Vi we can write like this, VIC plus V. Now if you divide all those terms, means VIC dot VIC plus capital V dot VIC, in this way if you do, so there will be two term Vic dot V. That's why this half sign is not here, half term is not here, you can see here. So we have this term. Now here this mi Vic is basically 0. How we can tell? We know that summation over mi Ric is basically like this, right? From the concept or from the definition of center of mass, we can write like this. So now this mi Ri, that is capital M R, and this is that term. Okay, so mi is the total mass. Now from the concept of center of mass, we know this. Now here in place of capital MR, if we use this one, summation over mi Ri, it will be 0. So mi Ric is 0. Now if you take the time derivative, that will also be 0, and that's why mi Vic is 0. So that's why this term will be 0, and we are left with these two terms. So here summation over mi is the capital M, that's we are using here. So this first term is the kinetic energy of the total system, kinetic energy of the total system about the center of mass, right? And this is the kinetic energy of the total mass of the system as if it is actually concentrated on the center of mass. Okay. So this we can tell the kinetic energy of the center of mass, and this is the kinetic energy of the system with respect to the center of mass. Now let's see what is potential energy. So here it is little bit difficult to understand, but if you see, it is not so difficult to understand. Let's see. So as I told in the last class, when we talk about the single particle case, that when we talk about potential energy, and if we want to measure from the force, that force has to be conservative, you know that. And here the external force and internal force both are conservative, we have to consider. So this is for external force and this is for internal force, right? So you know that we can write down as gradient of a scalar potential. Okay. So now here this internal force is central in nature, so that's why this potential energy we can write as Ri minus Rj, and you know that Rij, which is like this, that we can write like this. Now if we so here we want to see what is this del Vij del Xi, okay, this term. So we can tell del Vij del Rij and then del Rij del Xi, because this del Rij is function of Xi, similarly Xj, Yi, Yj, like that. So now if we take derivative on this Rij with respect to Xi, we will get this one. This is very easy, this is simple derivative. This is, we are using partial derivative because there is Xj, you know, and other terms are there. Okay. So for multivariable function, normally if we want to see the derivative, if we want to apply the derivative, we use partial derivative, not exact derivative. Okay, so similarly del Vij del Yi, that will be like this, and this is del Vij del Zi. Okay, so this is the gradient with respect to the ith point, from the ith point side, ith particle side. Okay, now here Fij, that is like this, that we are getting like this. Okay, now if we tell Fji, that means the internal force on jth particle due to the ith particle, that is from that j to I, if I consider. So that will be obviously there will be a minus sign, you can see there is a minus sign, and here there will be a minus sign due to the nature of the due to this nature. That means we are considering a force and we are seeing that change of the potential, that will be opposite always. See, this concept you got in case of electrical field also, right? Electrical field you write minus del V del X minus del V del Y, like that. Here also we are using same thing. So fji is basically minus del j. Del j means that we want to see the space rate of change from jth particle side. So that will be opposite to del I. Del I is the space rate of change from the side of ith particle. So both are in opposite direction. So that's why ultimately that there is no minus sign. You can see here is that minus sign, but here is no minus sign. And you know that Fij equal to minus Fji according to Newton's third law. So that thing is actually satisfying here if we do this calculation. Okay. Now again, what we have to do, we have to find out this, right? W12 with in terms of the potential energy. So Fji dot dr, Fij dot dri, that we can write like this when we do this summation, and here you can see we have to take a half sign, because here what we are doing, Fij dot dri plus Fji dot drj, both are same basically. So that's why there is a half sign. Now using this fact, we can write like this. So this is very much straightforward calculation. Now del I Vij is basically minus del j Vij, that already we have seen from here. Okay, and dri minus drj is basically drij. If we use that thing, actually we will use that thing here. So if we use that thing, then we will get this one. So basically del ij Vij here we are getting, and there is a minus sign already we are we have obtained. Here you can see there is a minus sign. So basically from here we are getting this using this fact. Okay. So now there is two terms. So both these two terms, what is these two terms? Let's try to understand. This first term is related to the external conservative force, right? And the second term is related to the internal force. Now this type of potential, internal potential, can vary, but for rigid body, due to this internal force there is no work done, right, as it is rigid. So this will be constant, this internal potential will be constant. So if we take this, there is here you can see this is the first point, this is the second point. So when we put this limit, the constant part will be separated out, constant part will be omitted. Okay, even if there is change in internal potential, there will be extra term like this. But for the time being, for the simplicity, we are considering that internal potential will be constant and we are left with V1 minus V2. Okay. So if we tell this total potential V, then also there is this extra term, and that is actually, so I want to mean that this V1 is actually the potential at first point, which is of this form, total form. Even if the internal force is constant, then we can tell this is this, only the contribution is coming from this external force when we are taking this difference. Okay. So we can write T2 minus T1 equal to V1 minus V2, because this is the form in case of kinetic energy and this is the form in case of potential energy, and this is the conservation energy theorem. Okay. So you can see in system of particles also conservation energy is satisfied. Okay. So that is for today's class. See you in the next class.